as a living energy. You trod on this living life form every day, and it energizes us, it sustains us and nurtures us. So today we trod lightly on the earth, we trod firmly on the earth, and recognize that that energy rises up and gives us all that we need. And just like the air we breathe, what we breathe in sustains us, and we breathe out what we don't need anymore. Every moment we breathe in and we breathe out. And nature deals with that. So if there's anything we need to give to nature, it's never too much. Nature welcomes it. In fact, it's food for nature, just like our out-breath is food for the trees. So we breathe anew each time. We walk anew each time. Moment by moment, we are given the opportunity in the present as a present, a gift to be new. In silence, we breathe. I'd like to talk as well about psychic protection, because I think within spirituality and within the journey in everything that we're doing and raising the awareness, it's good to know how. It's good to understand the energies and dealing with that, but it's also good to understand how best to work, and so that we're not putting out any more or less than we need to. We've got this thing called spiritual vampires or psychic vampires. Now, basically, so that's when energy is being pulled from you, or you're pulling energy from people, because we all have the ability to, be one or the other. Is anybody here got any particular, because we're in a small group, so we can be a little bit more direct, so has anybody got any questions about it?
You say psychic vampires, these people that you said drain your energy, there's people that demand of your time.
It could be that. It could be that. It could be that they demand your time. Basically, the signals is that after being around that person, having that conversation or being engaged, you feel low energy, or you've taken on board everything that they've, you've gone completely into their mode. So whatever drama it is that they brought to you, you've just gone with it completely.
So their problem is your problem.
So just to be conscious of that, you know, of how you're resonating with people. Because if it happens now and again, that's fine. But if you find that that's your social circle and you're constantly going from drama to drama to drama, you know, then there's something that's not right. And actually you might be doing that to avoid your business and what you have to do. Not you personally, but, you know, this is tends to be what can happen with us, is that, you know, people do this. You know, my house used to be like a community centre. You know, people would be coming day and night to my house, and I'd always, yes, I can help this person. I was nodding in the back there. I can help that person, and, you know, whatever it is. I mean, people laugh at me because I'm still, you know, I still have quite an open door policy, but now I kind of know who and what, because you will just, you know, I was attracting all sorts. And somebody came to me one time, and he said, so why you let so much vampire in your place? And I was upset and offended. These are my friends, you know, these are, what do you mean? You know, and it wasn't until years later, after I got that close to a nervous breakdown and was having panic attacks and, you know, all this kind of thing, that I kind of got it. But actually, no, that's not the way to go. So, yeah, definitely checking energy levels. If there's not, who? Spiritually draining. Yeah, so an ancestor or a spirit being, and you'll find that there's some kind of, not psychic attack, some kind of an ancestor or spirit. Are you talking about, is that what you mean?
Yeah, but what you don't know, you just feel like you might have that, you don't know.
Right. Well, we have this situation now where death is not handled properly. You know, when people pass, for whatever reason they pass, it's not handled properly. So we do find that we've got a lot of spirits out there that are wandering, you know, and we find that they're coaching with us in different ways. I've got, you know, I call my passage people, I've got Alway People, I've got people that kind of come and visit my house from the spiritual realm, and some visit and some coach, you know. First thing I would find out is what their energy is like. Are they mischievous, you know, creating problems, or are they just passing through? So it's about feeling the energy. So am I? No, it's not. Is that making sense for you? Okay. No, because you've got a question on your face, so I wasn't sure if I was answering your question or not. Right. Well, I mean, I can just share the story of first find out what energy they're carrying, and if they're positive or negative, because we share this planet with spirit. You know, it's not just about the physical selves being on the planet. There are spirit beings around us all the time having their experience. Some of the beings that are here want to be next to the planet, and when they left their physical body, they didn't want to ascend and go off to other realms, so they hover and they're here. Some of them have been, you know, through the Holocaust, slavery Holocaust, we know that there is a lot of us who passed on and their spirit was not appeased, you know. So this is why, another reason I pour libation. I pour libation to appease and just ask for forgiveness and just let them know you are acknowledged, you are loved, we do honour you. I ask for forgiveness for myself. So if there's anything that we're doing, that I'm doing that is not right, anything I've said that offends you, I am sorry. Yeah? And speak with them. Sometimes we've got spirits coming to us, we go, we ain't acknowledging them. So they're like, hello, I'm here, you know, and trying to make us understand that they're here. And they want to be involved on some kind of form. So when I say energy balance work, I mean it in the sense that there's a lot to what you've just said. Yes, there are spirits. And yes, there are lots of different ways they come, but just like a personality, if you said, you know, I've got this friend that bothers me, then I'm like, well, who's the friend? What they, you know, what's the issue? Was something said? You know, what's going on? I have to do the same thing for spirit. But I'm just kind of giving you some pointers now. If there is something going on spiritually, again, it's a signal for something. So first thing to find out, what is the purpose? What is your purpose as spirit? Why are you here? Look into it.
You know, when you say spirits, you're talking about ghosts. They're the same thing, spirit and ghost.
Well, I see them as the same but different. You know, where it's all spirit. Anything in the spiritual realm is that anything that's not physical, it's transcended into spirits in the spiritual realm. But that's a whole world into itself. Ghosts are a part of that, but I do see ghosts, as we call them in Jamaica or Caribbean, doppy. And those are the ones that don't want to leave the planet. They actually like this experience and they want to be involved in this experience, or they've had some kind of trauma that needs resolving. Yeah? So they frighten us with all the poltergeists and all the this and the horror that we see on TV. But look, at the end of every single one of them stories, there's some injustice or something that was not done that should have been done that create that nonsense. Yeah. So that is the lesson, right? I'm a celebrant. You know, and one of the reasons I'm a celebrant is because I was asked to do funerals, I was asked to do naming ceremonies and weddings before I even knew what I was doing, but they would call me to do it. But I had one of my early mentors say to me, the most important times is our birth, when we come into the planet, and our death when we leave the planet. And a lot of the time it's not our culture that deal with us. It's other people's culture that deals with this. Is an injustice. And yes, there are spirits out there that feel that there is an injustice. So I pour libation, I do whatever it is I can do, talk to them, you know, just throw little gifts or whatever it is, expressions of gratitude, expressions of love and acknowledgement for them in my life and in our lives.
Is it that they would have preferred to be handled in the way that if we were still living in our true culture, how death would be handled then? Or is that why they're kind of here and upset with us because we've allowed people who, for whatever reason, who may have done us wrong to then handle them in this delicate part of their process?
I'd say all of that. You know, there's no right or wrong. Well, what I do is I ask for forgiveness. I say, if I do or say anything that offends you, I apologise. I can only apologise to you. Please forgive any of the wrongdoings I do. I do this with love. You know, I'm pouring libation to you. You know, I know one sat down and said, I'm sure this is what you do, you pour it. You know, I had to go into meditation, go into myself and say, this is how I'm going to do it, this is what I'm going to say. I went to do a ceremony, a naming ceremony recently, and they introduced me, and the woman said, yes, and now we're going to have a traditional African naming ceremony. And I had to go up there and say, I'm sorry, no, you know, I can't, I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. This is who I am. I acknowledge spirit. You are going to have a spiritual naming ceremony. Yes, there will be some African rituals that I will bring in. I will do the libation and I will do these things, but I will do libation and I will speak the language that I know, you know, from heart, you know. But within that, again, I speak with the spirit. You know, and you call in your angels, you call in your spirit guides, you call in your ancestors, you call in your higher council and your committee and your, you know, whoever it is, you call them in. Because it's like, you know, it's like you've got a posse that you could be walking with to deal with that. So, you know, you're going to meet a disgruntled spirit. You're supposed to have your people around you. So, excuse me, you better sort that out. Because I got to come in here. I was saying my prayers all the way here. You know, to make sure that when I come in this room, things are correct. Go ahead, sort it out. I'm coming.
So, say for example, with racism where I work, if I ask spirits to help me, how would that manifest itself? Rather than as well as pray, for example, nothing happened basically. When I prayed for help, nothing happened. I still persecuted by these people.
I'm not quite sure what you're asking. What I'm hearing is, how can I access spirit?
Yeah.
How can I access my ancestors? How will I know that they're helping me when I put in the request? Is that
basically, and how would it manifest itself? How would they help, for example?
That depends on how you need the help.
You're being persecuted, you're being bullied, or you're being harassed because you are different, because you are black.
I've got a book here, I didn't bring it with
Years
me,
ago.
called Falling from Grace. The spirit of intimacy is good as well. Falling from Grace. If you read any Sabon Fusal, yeah, go on. Yes? Oh, yeah. Have you got water? Can you bring me some, please, actually?
Can I answer that question?
Oh, yes, please.
I will say.
Can you come into the circle to speak, please?
Okay.
Yes, the camera's not moving.
So you feel persecuted at work and you're asking for assistance.
Yeah.
But the experience you're having is the assistance. It's how you're going to deal with it. What you're going through now is a learning experience, because no matter what age you are, you're still going to carry on learning wherever you are, no matter what age. Life is a learning experience. What you're going through now is a learning experience, and how you deal with it is your learning experience. So the help is there for you, but you've got to channel it into it. Just like you deal with your books. That's how you're challenging your anger and world injustice through your books. And this experience you're going through is an experience that you're going to have to channel your energy through on how you're going to deal with it. So our ancestors will not do everything for us. They'll give us the energy to channel.
I get what you're saying. I was expecting a lot of light to strike this man down.
Yeah, but that's sometimes not what we get.
Sometimes it is though, but you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that
Oh, thank you, darling. But when we get it, we're like, oh, okay, you know.
I mean, he killed himself basically because he smoked too much. And he had a heart bypass operation, I think it was a year later. So if I didn't have that argument with him when I did, maybe a year after, then he would have not been on the scene. And so he told the line, really better again, told the line and try and ignore them. But one day, they push you and push you, and one day he turn on them.
But you know what, people get to come up with what they say.
Yeah.
I mean, like where I'm at the moment working, I'm working in a charity that's to do with cancer. And the way how we're all pressurised and whatever, I just said, one of us is going to get cancer here. And I was just thinking of me, because I was just thinking, you know, I'm just being pressurised so much out of this madness and this stupidness. And guess what? The boss has got cancer now.
Wow. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, there's a book I've got, I don't think I bought it, called The Anatomy of Spirit. And there's a woman on the planet, and she can tell you by your mental state, she will tell you what kind of disease you will manifest.
Okay.
She will tell you that, you know, and that's her gift.
Okay.
But she calls it the spirit of anatomy, because your illness is your signal as to what you need to focus on spiritually. You know, and Louise Hayes touches on it very well, you know, because she's got a section, whatever's going on, she will say, well, this is the spiritual lack, this is the spiritual meaning behind the discomfort or dis-ease. You know, but the other lady goes into it quite deep as well, and Layla Africa talks about it a little bit too. Comeuppance. It's them kind of details. It's not for us. It's not for us to have that. Our purpose is to be. You know, we're not the judge and jury.
We're not.
We're not the judge and jury. And you know what my mentor always says to me? When someone really irritates me, she just laughs and says, "That's your biggest teacher on the planet right now." You know, that's your biggest teacher. That person that's irritating you because that's showing you where you need to grow.
Yeah, I've heard that said.
So
But
you
you
just
don't-
take it in that, if you take it in that manner, then, and see it in that light, then you can use that learning experience to grow.
Right, yeah. I've learned that. This happened to me 20 years ago when I was at work. And in 2012, I went back then. The secretary said to me, you should have gone to a tribunal. But the thing is, they wouldn't support me back then. And she's telling me, she's telling me the truth of everything. And I thought, and another colleague that I worked with said the same thing. Yeah, I don't know why you this guy, this is the way he was. So I went to a tribunal with all that. I got a full hearing, but they wouldn't tell the truth. They come in the crowd to deny the whole thing. But I later found out one of the guys that was one of the witnesses and wouldn't speak up for me. In the end, he got stitched up as well. The same thing happened to him. He had to leave. He got a job somewhere else. He's the secretary there now. But the reason I went to the tribunal was I thought my case was strong. If they would tell the truth, they would tell the truth. I just thought, no harm in trying.
Definitely.
The system needs shaking up in the way they treat black people. These institutional racism is the same as paedophilia, same cause, different crime, same effect, destroy people's lives. They give us 3 months in a day to do anything in a tribunal. Take an institutional tribunal, that's 3 months in a day you get. With paedophilia, you've got all your life. You can take someone to court 50 years later. But they need to change the way they think about how they repress us.
Yeah, but we need to think about how we treat ourselves. Because, you know, when we go through these kind of scenarios as a community, there should be a whole of people waiting to, there should be organisations waiting to help you. So the way we treat ourselves will affect how others treat us.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because there was no one for me to go to at the time, back then.
Yeah, times are changing, and I think it's like you said, it really is about us doing for self.
Yeah.
You know, and really, you know, getting people on board and moving things forward, because you know this society is what it is. You know, so we have to change within that.
Yes, we know what the society is. We're experiencing every day the